Hey everyone, you're listening to The Public Affair with me, Andrew G. I see someone different every episode, but do me a favor, keep it between us. Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Andrew G, and welcome to another episode of The Public Affair. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. I'm really excited to be having my next guest onto the show. It's somebody that I've been in his DMs for quite a while about, and the timing just had to be right, just like with all the other episodes, and we finally made this happen in 2024, to start 2024 off, so I'm really excited about that. Now, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to thank you guys again so much for all the love and support that you guys continue to show The Public Affair, even in my time off. I was so happy that everybody was still messaging me. They didn't forget about me, even though I took a whole month off. And of course to Rogue Media Network for everything you guys do for me and being patient in my time off. I truly appreciate it. We got Mike Hamilton producing this episode. Now, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just some of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. You're going to watch this is live. You ready? This episode is brought to us by David Santabañez with Linear Real Estate. He's the #1 sales agent in his office. He's going to help you buy a home or sell your property. Listen, make sure new year, new home, new you. All right. Make sure you get with the best to get into a brand new house. Work with David Santabañez. You don't know what you're doing. He's going to take you from step by step and make sure you know exactly what's going on in every step of the process. To David Santabañez. Oh, y se habla español también. To David Santabañez, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Armstrong's Bayou Cafe with Anika Armstrong, serving the most authentic Cajun cuisine with a wide selection of signature crab cakes, pastas, seafood, and more. Listen, you guys already know that all the pastas are absolutely my favorite, of course, being the crabby seafood pasta. But listen, I recommend every single thing. The potatoes are good. Everything is so delicious. You guys can find her at Union Hall and Waco and at Union Grove in Woodway. Follow at Armstrong's Bayou Cafe Corporation on social media. To my girl, Anika Armstrong, keep doing your thing, girl. Keep your head up, and I love you so much. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, the Manny Guerrero at Blue Star RV Services, a mobile RV tech who can fix all RVs, travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, food trucks, and so much more. His team is absolutely professional. They'll come to you so you don't gotta haul it nowhere, and they'll get the job done in the first try. They're really reputable. They deal with the warranty companies as well in case you're still under warranty. Pay them their small service fee, and they got you. Follow on Facebook, call their number on the screen. To Manny Guerrero at Blue Star RV Services, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Joseph Blancas with JB Auto Detailing, who provides mobile detailing for all of Waco and the surrounding area, promising 100% satisfaction guaranteed, leaving your vehicle looking brand spanking new and absolutely fresh. Pricing and such is at jbautodetailing.net. He has a number of different packages because sometimes those jobs can be a little bit expensive, but with the number of packages that he has, it can become affordable and you're still getting the best quality ever, right? Or listen, just call the number on the screen, tell them that I sent you, right? To JB Auto Detailing, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Tamborazo Estilo Rancho with Carlos Salazar. I love saying that. It just rolls off the tongue. Providing live music for any event, birthday parties, quinces, weddings, divorce parties, whatever you got going on, they're going to come over there and make it super duper live. Get the party started with the best group in the area. Sure to get everybody off their feet and enjoy all the festivities. Call the number on the screen to book. Follow on Facebook at Tamborazo Estilo Rancho LLC. To Carlos Salazar, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, the Waco Bolt and Supply Company, your new go-to source for nuts, bolts, and all industry supplies, offering a wide selection of high-end products. Oh, yes, with competitive pricing. That's right. Perfect for all my friends. I have a lot of friends on social media that sponsor this show that are all handymen and construction, whatever. These people have exactly what you need to get the job done. Follow on Facebook at Waco Bolt and Supply Company. Call the number on the screen to order. Y se habla español también to Waco Bolt and Supply Company. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Whew, that takes a lot out of me. That takes a lot out of me.
You sound like an auctioneer.
Should I be an auctioneer? Is that like my next calling in life?
If you want.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go for it. Well, listen, you guys, I have a man here who I believe is really a staple in his community, I would say. Somebody that I've been following for a really long time. Actually been really good friends with his sister for many years. And, he has a story, I feel like, of inspiration and just moving forward and staying strong. And I really am so grateful that he came on to The Public Affair. Regardless of what he's going through right now, which we are going to talk about. And, he was more than willing to share it with us. I am just elated. He is a Spanish teacher at Riker, as well as a girls soccer coach, which we're going to get to the soccer, right? Because soccer, for some reason, has become part of my life too. And he's currently going through something that we will get into here shortly. But I'm very happy to welcome Octaviano Estrada Jr., or as a lot of people call him, Baby. And he said I can call him Baby on The Public Affair. Yes, he did. Before everybody starts thinking it's gay. Okay.
It's not gay at all.
It's not gay at all.
It's not gay if you're friends.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, listen, thank you so much again for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
How do you feel about being here, number one? I mean, I know that we talked about it for quite a while.
I feel good. I'm comfortable with it. I've been in television before, so it's just, it's like another day at the office.
Do you miss TV? Do you miss that?
I don't miss working 6-7 days a week.
Right?
I don't miss working holidays.
Yeah.
The money's good.
Right.
The benefits were very, very good. But
Mhm.
I mean, like, there's sometimes like money can't buy happiness. Not everything.
Yes, there's a lot that goes behind the scenes in showbiz.
For sure. Yeah.
They just see us on camera. Like
Yeah.
everybody thinks I'm rich. When did I become rich? Excuse me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody thinks, oh, you got 3 awards, you're the number 1 show in Waco, and you must have it all together. Excuse me. No, the fuck.
You're rich in happiness.
Yeah, and happiness, I will say. Yeah.
No, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. Like there's a lot of cuts, pans. Like,
Yeah.
hey, time, you're on the time limit, time crunch, and
Yeah.
you got to call a shot. Okay, pan this way, pan that way, pan to the tight, to the wide. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Last minute. Yeah.
There's for sure. Yeah. But no, listen, again, I really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, I want to tell the story. I told you I was going to tell you the story. But when we first met you guys in your house in South Waco, I went to go see your sister and somebody else, and I thought I was picking your sister and the other person up. And it was just the other person.
Yeah.
And I walk up to Baby's house, and Baby walks out of the house like he's going to fight me, which you should, because I was a stranger.
Yeah.
I thought you knew I was coming. Did nobody say that I was on my way?
There was not a mention of an extra guest.
I'm just like walking up, and you're like, yeah, and I was like, hi. But then the gag is too, because it was on Christmas.
It was on Christmas.
It was on Christmas, and so when I picked the person up to go back to their house, your house was way more fun.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was like, we should have stayed at Baby's house because he had booze, he had food that was ready to eat. Yes. No shade to the other house. I'm just saying, like,
hey, I'm punctual. What can I say?
Yeah, no, it was.
I wanted people to have a good time.
It was on point. I was like, I should have went back to that guy Baby's house.
Yeah.
And so I would love to come back to your house. In different circumstances. Okay. If that's okay.
Sure,
to party. Yeah,
whatever, man.
You're the one who had the cool party. Anyway, listen.
For baby Jesus, man.
Yeah. I didn't say I was going to go over there and do anything inappropriate. I said I was going to go over there and we were going to enjoy Christmas.
All right.
You had tamales and rice and stuff like that. Like,
I did. I had tamales, beans. I had.
And you had coquito too.
I had coquito.
I was like, when did Baby become Puerto Rican?
I mean, yeah, tú sabes.
Oh, there we go.
No, one of my students, they're Puerto Rican, and
I see.
Her mom made a bunch of coquitos, so she gave me some.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very appropriate, right?
Yeah, for sure.
A student to give an adult some alcohol. Yeah.
Shoo. I said I was gonna be nice. Okay, so
I
have to be nice. Yes. Okay. So you know what? No, can we talk a little bit about? So for anybody that is wondering, who you are, which I think a lot of people in town know who you are. Can you just introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about your life growing up?
My name is Octaviano Estrada Jr. I go by Baby. I've been called Baby since I was a baby. It's a name my mom gave me.
Oh, okay.
At that point in time, I was the youngest in my family.
Oh, I see.
And Spanish parents, their English is very choppy.
Yeah.
They're not using proper verbs or proper pronouns and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
All she could say was baby, baby, baby. So that name just stuck.
Like the Ashanti song?
Like the Ashanti song, yeah. Like the TLC song, the Lil Bow Wow song. Yeah,
there you go.
Of course.
I bet you got that a lot growing up.
No. I was embarrassed of it
for
a long time. Yeah, I didn't want to be called Baby. And then after a while, it just stuck. And it was like my nieces, my nephews, they all call me Theo Baby.
Yeah.
And those that are close to me, they like it's weird in a non-professional setting for people to call me Octaviano.
Okay.
Because I just was never used to it. That's my dad's name.
Right.
Also, but Baby was just a more common one, and that's what I use. And like my students have found out slowly that that's what they call me. So
okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't want to be on the show just calling you Baby, and then all the guys like, yo, why are you calling that guy Baby? Because that's his name.
Yeah, that's typically what I go by.
Yeah, definitely.
It's Baby, and that's just. I mean, it just became a norm for me. And
yes.
Like when I introduce myself, a lot of times if it's not in a professional setting,
sure,
it'll be like, "Hey, how you doing? My name's Baby."
I got you. So you're younger than Angel.
Yeah, she's my older sister.
Shout out to Angel Tremia, who I love. Yeah, she's my sister. Very good friend.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, what was like life in your household growing? I mean, because you guys are from South Waco. Correct?
Yeah, so we're from South Waco.
Yeah.
We our neighbors were South Terrace. So growing up, I had a lot of black friends, and that black culture sort of really was a big influence.
Okay.
Now you see it like worldwide, right? Now you see black culture just everywhere. And when I was young, like that's just all we knew. We were we're just influenced a lot in the household. We spoke a lot of Spanish. My parents were from Mexico. So it was 7 of us, actually, believe it or not, in a 2-bedroom house.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Were tensions high at the time?
No, man, we were kids.
Yeah.
We didn't know any better. We didn't know that we were living, we're poor, so to speak. We always had food, we always had clothes on our back, and you know, we didn't know the struggle. We didn't understand it because we were young.
Right.
You know, I'm 4 or 5 years old, and
yeah.
And you just don't see it. You don't until you grow older. Then you look back on it. Then you appreciate those small moments. Yeah, okay, for sure. And I mean, it was. I loved it. Like all my friends, I'm still friends with. All the friends I grew up with.
That's good.
Some of them are no longer here. You know, rest in peace to them. But I loved it. Like I wouldn't change anything about it. I don't want to leave my neighborhood. I don't want to leave my people. I'm not. I've never been one of those type of persons or people that says, you know what, let me get some money and leave.
Okay, got you.
No, I always wanted to
you just like your South Waco.
I wanted to help my people.
Oh, I see. Yeah. You're very involved in the community, and you aspire to be very involved in the community.
I did. So when I moved from that South Waco, where I bought my house out at now, which is on the other side of 35, me and
is that the house where you almost beat me up?
That's the house almost beat me up. That's the house I almost shot you at. Yeah. This close, Andrew. I'm not
gonna lie. I was scared. I was like, yo, did nobody fucking tell him that I'm on my way? Like,
and then I was still working on my house. Like the construction's going on.
It was a little rough around the edges.
Yeah,
yes, you could tell. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I gutted it. Like I gutted it completely.
But you know, and then you didn't shoot me, but then you were very welcoming. So just to provide more context to the listeners and the viewers, he was very welcoming after he found out who I was.
Yeah, I offered you tamales, coquitos, stuff like that.
Yes, and then the whole time I wish I was back there. But anyway.
So me and a couple of gentlemen, Armando Arvizu, who, if you don't know who he is, his dad actually sued the school district for to desegregate. The schools here in Waco.
Yeah.
And another gentleman by the name of Robert Aguilar. If you don't know who he is a civil rights activist from like the 60s and the 70s.
Oh, okay.
And he's like a very prominent figure. Yeah. So if you don't know who he is, like look him up, and he has a lot of history. You know, and that generation, it's a last of a dying breed. Like we're not going to get that generation again. We're not going to get the mentality. We're not going to get the way they approach things, you know. And I think he's someone to research and just to get to know. So they reached out to me, and we revamped the University Neighborhood Association.
Oh, okay.
So in that, like where Burnett and Cleveland, where the Old Baylor Stadium's at, and there were just a lot of things that we wanted to do, and like we're all for change, and we're all for growth in the city, but not at the expense of people losing their homes.
Yeah, sure.
Like we're that's not what we're about. We want people to. We want to preserve the integrity of the neighborhood. We want to, like, it was us that made it beautiful.
Yeah.
It was us, poor Mexicans, so to speak, that made it beautiful. Poor black people, even poor white people that made all of this beautiful. It wasn't the outsiders. It wasn't what you view on TV, on the networks. Like we made it beautiful. We made it comfortable enough for y'all to come and take what we have, and we just, like, we don't want to take it back. We want to preserve it.
For sure.
That's our culture. That's where we come from.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted to do.
Do you feel like you're being pushed out a little bit?
No. With my situation, I kind of had to take a stand back on it.
Yeah.
So I had to, retreat a bit, but it's still going on. They're still having meetings, and they're still doing what they're going to do.
Definitely.
We set up a mural to be painted on the South Waco Center there.
Who's painting it?
It'll be Scooby.
Scooby. Shout out to Scooby. He was on this show.
It'll be Scooby.
When I had to walk out and shut shit down, and he entertained the crowd for 15 seconds.
It'll be Scooby. We wanted someone that was very involved in the community.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
So when Armando came to me, I was like, well, I think I know somebody. I reached out to Scooby.
Good. And he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's so awesome, bro. Yeah. And we talked a little bit about that. I had Tiffany Vidania on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, who ran for the city council. And she only lost by like 9 votes or something like that. So y'all get up your ass, please, whenever the next election is, and go vote for her. Before I'm gonna smack everybody.
Like you want
I am gonna smack everybody, all right? Damn it.
Like you want longevity in these people.
These
are the people that make things happen, right?
Yes.
So someone like that's young and that's aspiring and is willing to do all the legwork, like, and go out and walk and knock on these doors and talk to people. Like, you have to appreciate that, right?
Yes, definitely.
Like, Tiffany's a good she's a very, very kind person, and she just wants the best.
Shout outs to her.
Yeah, for sure.
She works her ass off unbeknownst to everything.
She does, man. Yes. She does.
But so you're also a Spanish teacher.
Yeah.
And you're a soccer coach. Okay, so I'm sure being a teacher, how do you feel about being a teacher in 2023, 2024? Do you think it's different than when we were growing up?
Oh, for sure.
The kids, right?
The culture is different. The culture is very, very different. It's not like us. Like, they have a lot of resources at their in the palm of their hand,
right?
And where we had to go to a library and look it up, where we just didn't have it, and we had to go without.
Yeah.
No, the culture is completely different. The mindset is completely different. That's not to say that it's bad.
Yeah.
because they're very, very smart kids.
Okay.
Like they're very, very intelligent.
Yeah.
It's just done in a different way, in a different manner. We're very hands-on because we had to be.
Right.
They're more technologically savvy. Like
all the answers are in the palm of their hands.
For sure.
We did not have that. You had to walk your ass to the library. Remember what was those things where you had to look them up in the
Dewey Decimal System?
Yeah, oh my God.
Now they don't even know.
They don't even know what a Dewey Decimal System is.
No, they don't. They don't know anything about that. They can just go online, look up the book on Amazon, and or even find a PDF. Like that's it. But it's not a bad thing. I think we just have to instill some of the our values in them, because we're more appreciative.
And I want to ask you that too, because I've had teachers on this show before, and I wonder, for somebody like you, do you think that there's a lot of hindrance when it comes to installing the values that you want to the kids, or is there anything that blocks you as a teacher? Maybe within the school board or anything per se?
No, I'm very fortunate that, and keep in mind, I work for a private school. I work for a Catholic private school.
Yes.
But I'm very fortunate that they're very understanding, and they don't let me do whatever I want, but they trust me.
Oh, I see.
And I have a very good relationship with the kids. Like every kid in the high school I can name.
You look like the cool teacher. You look like the teacher where I can use my cell phone in class.
Sometimes they treat me like a student.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. He looks like the teacher where I can make a call in class and you won't care.
That I do care about, because I can't get in trouble.
Okay.
But I do let them.
You look like I straight up be like, hold on, teacher.
No, I get mad. Yeah. I get mad when they answer the phone. I do get mad. I'm like, nah, man, you can't do that.
Okay.
Like, ask to go to the restroom.
Yeah.
Like,
you could fight in class, but you cannot make calls in class. Yeah. You let them duke it out in class too, don't you? Like if they have it. Oh no, but striker, they don't have no issues with each other. They pray and then
we just pray about it.
Yeah, but speaking on that though, because so you coach soccer too, but it's at Riker, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've been heavily involved in the soccer. I sponsor the SoCo soccer teams, coach. Okay. Shout out to Coach Mara Maldonado. Yeah. And I have seen like that realm of soccer is like, it's a whole different. Yeah, does that exist in Riker too? Like people don't know how to act and stuff like that, and the parents and all that. And is it for real? They don't get in prayer circles and pray about it? Like, they fight?
Nah, man.
Oh, no. Yeah, tell me, please. I would love to know your experience as a coach.
You got parents yelling from the stands. You got...
No.
Yeah. Heck, yeah. Even at football games,
really?
basketball games are very, very intense at Riker.
Is that right?
Yeah, but... so soccer just... you have those fans. You have those people that have generations that have played soccer all their life, and they're very, very... very, very, like, just aggressive. Like, you hear them from the stands yelling in Spanish. Nobody understands them.
Yeah.
I'm the only one. Like, I'm the only one.
How long have you been coaching, baby?
2 full years.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 full years.
So what are some of the tactics that you use as a coach to keep your team, within, showing good sportsmanship and, working together as a unity and being humbled?
So keep in mind, like, I never played soccer growing up.
Right.
I'm from the hood.
Okay.
Like, we were basketball, football, and I boxed my whole life.
Oh, good.
So soccer was something new. I knew how to condition. I knew the position, stuff like that. So one thing that I try to sort of promote is like, look, I'm learning, you're learning, because I don't have real soccer players.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have the girls that play select, or I have one girl that plays club, and she's like got like 13 offers right now.
Is she your secret weapon in the games?
Yeah, she's like a player coach, man.
Yeah,
like Annie Texera, like she's phenomenal, man. She's gonna be a great coach one day, and
That's good.
And so she helps a lot. But as far as like the tactics that I use, like no man left behind, and like you see a girl coming across that finish line, because when we run a mile, like if she's by herself, like go catch up to her.
Oh, really?
Cross that finish line with her. Help each other out. Don't be mad. Like no one's better, no one's bigger than the team.
Yeah.
And that's why I really try to instill that. And at the same time, it's like, I'm learning, you're learning.
Yeah.
Because I inherited the team from Ronnie Duron. Like, he planted a very, very healthy seed. And if you don't know who Ronnie Duron is, his family owns Freddy's Glass.
Oh, okay.
So he kept that program alive.
Yeah.
And he did it for free.
Oh, okay.
So when it was time for him to step away, like, he talked to me, and I took it over, and And the athletic director at that time was Billy Overshone, who,
Yeah.
and if you don't know who Billy Overshone is, man, he was a TCU running back.
I have to say, I don't know any of the people that you're naming.
Very good people, man.
Yeah,
Very
no,
good
I'm
people.
sure they are. I hope they know who I am.
And
yeah.
Well, now, don't know now.
Okay.
Don't know.
I hope they knew who I was beforehand, baby. Okay. Otherwise, I'm canceling the show.
They did.
Okay.
No, they did. I'm 100% sure. So, man, so they trusted me, and they knew that I had a good relationship with the kids and the girls. So that's how we came to be. And now the program's growing. It's got more attention.
Yeah. Do you have any plans to maybe coach outside of the high school setting? Or?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I don't have.
It's tough.
It's hard
It's
because
tough. Yeah.
you got to understand. Like sometimes we have strength and conditioning at 6, and then we don't finish practice at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Then we don't finish practice till 6 o'clock at night.
Oh.
And then I'm there from 6 in the morning to 6 at night.
Oh, yeah.
And so it makes it hard. It's very draining for me.
Draining, yeah.
And there's a lot that goes behind it. I always tell people, as a head coach, your job is probably 90% administrative and 10% coaching. Because you have to plan, you have to coordinate, you have to make sure you have teams, make sure you have, like this year, the biggest challenge was uniforms.
Yeah.
Uniforms, like you have to comply with a certain standard, and that was hard. Like, how do you get the money?
Okay.
How do you get the funds? Like, how do you?
Yeah, believe me.
Yeah.
I love sponsoring. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, see,
but you'd be hitting me with them prices sometimes. I'm like, oof.
Hey, that shit.
We're gonna make it happen. Ask them if they take Klarna.
That shit is not cheap.
It's so not. The equipment, everything and listen, it's great, right? It's so awesome. Like I love the sport. I'm not trying to go to all the games. Yeah. But it's cold. It's a great sport for, I feel like, people to learn, because it's really like using your body.
It is. And I always tell the girls, I'm like, if y'all can be conditioned for soccer, everything else will fall in line.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you'll be fine to play softball, baseball, even baseball, but like volleyball, or even go back to basketball, like track, like you'll transition into track a lot smoother because they'll be conditioned.
Sure. So no, wait. So then that kind of, there's like a nuance then, right? Because like, so for like the SoCo soccer team, like I'm best friends with the coach, so he'll just say, okay, we need this for this, this for this, whatever. And then, if I don't have it all, then we'll all work, we'll work together to get it. Yeah. But so what do you have to do then? I mean, because you can't just go ask Riker, like, hey, we need new uniforms. That's probably not in their budget, right? Or is it like that?
So sometimes we do have a budget. This year was a little bit different, just because there was a lot of changes. But me and the boys' head soccer coach, we kind of just figured it out. Yeah. And if they don't have it, then in all honesty, like, man, I'll just come out of pocket. Okay. Like for the kids, I'll do it.
Yeah, for sure.
For the kids, I'll do it. I'll buy them lunch. I'll buy them whatever I need.
Yeah.
Yeah. For them, it's not a problem because.
At first, my joke was it's for the children because I thought it was going to get me more publicity. But then it really became like heartwarming.
They start coming to you.
No, because then the parents are like, you don't understand how. Like, I really at first did it for like, oh yeah, this is going to be good publicity for me, and then it really ended up being like, okay, it's for my best friend. It's for the kid. The parents appreciate it. The kids really appreciate it. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep doing it.
Well, now you're vested, right? Now you're vested with like now you're attached to it. Now you
I am.
The reward is there, right? It's very rewarding.
It's a rewarding feeling. Is what it is. I mean, I don't obviously I'm not getting paid for it, but it's cool to you put yourself in the perspective where, like, we grew up with nothing. Yes. And then we're able to give back. Yes. Right? And then you're able to, like, me personally, I'm able to give back to somebody that means a lot to me, and this means a lot to them. Yes. And so it's just like, oh, this is really cool. You know what I mean? And then, when the dads and the moms come up to me and they're just like, you don't understand how much we appreciate that. I'm like, oh,
no, they do.
They do. And now I know why.
They do. Because it costs. Yeah. If they don't have to come out of pocket, then they very much appreciate
it. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
But for the kids, like, I do it. For the kids, okay, gotcha. For the kids, I do it. For them, it's I don't know. I think
on a teacher salary, like, because you guys are so underpaid, like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I'll figure it out.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I got other stuff that I do.
Oh, sure.
As well, but I'll figure it out. And it's just people think, oh, it's a private school. Oh, the kids have money, this and that, but I don't. But they don't. Not all of them are financially or economically stable like that. Right. They're I'm not saying they're struggling to pay the tuition, but it's difficult.
It's life, yeah.
Yeah,
life be life.
It's for sure. Okay. It's a bill, and I understand. So if I can make an impact in some sort of way, then let me do it. Like, let me do it my way. That's
great. Yeah, it's so great, and it's like you said too. It is a rewarding feeling.
It is a rewarding feeling.
It taught me how to be, for lack of a better term, charitable.
Yeah.
Like, before, I was very selfish. Like, no, wait, this is all my fucking money. You can go. But now it's like, oh, I like doing this.
Yeah.
Like when I'm being asked, hey, can you buy
Yes.
soccer balls, agility poles, whatever the fuck they're called. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll do it. Like,
yeah, crying and shit.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not crying.
I was gonna spend these $15 on some Chick-fil-A.
I was gonna say, what's $15?
Nothing, not a damn
Yeah,
thing.
not for soccer. Nothing is no $15.
No, it's expensive. A soccer ball maybe on sale. On sale.
What? The soccer balls I buy because they want a certain brand be at least $30 a piece.
What do they play with? What brand? The Baudins?
Okay, Umbro.
Umbro.
Is this, and then I just learned what a futsal ball was.
Oh, okay.
Because he needed some futsal balls. I think I bought like 3 or 4 of those. And Sedana, I think, is the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
we play with Baudin, and those are like $100 a ball.
Oh shit! Don't tell them that because then they're gonna want the $100 balls. No, cut that part out. No, I'm kidding. No, cut it out. Hey,
there you go, Andrew.
Okay, shit, you fucked it up for me. Yeah.
You got it.
But that's where Klarna is awesome. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna take a quick break, baby. But before we do so, and I wanted to make sure it was okay for you to talk about this. And,
yeah.
You are currently living with cancer.
Yes.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And again, big shout out to you and prayers every day for you because I'm sure that's not easy to deal with. But I definitely want to kind of dive into how you live every day with that. And so when we come back, we're going to learn more about baby and his life living with cancer at the moment and how he's pushing through it and how he stays positive and with a great smile on his face. So make sure you guys stay tuned and we'll be right back here on The Public Affair.
All right.
Woof. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this exciting and heartfelt episode of The Public Affair. My very special guest, just Baby. His name is Baby. Now, before we continue, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by Banda's Hauling Service with Julian and Ana Banda. They rent dump trailers. You fill it up and they're going to haul it away. That's right. They're also doing junk removals and tree brush removals and hauling cars in and out of town. Also offering now some roll-off dumpster services. You know, when you have those big parties and everybody leaves trash all over the floor, whatever the case is, just rent a dumpster from them and they'll take care of it for you and he'll haul that away too. Isn't it convenient? Listen, I always say Banda's Hauling Service is one of those businesses that you have to have their number saved in your phone because in case of a sticky situation.
That's a good business to have.
Amazing.
That's smart.
Business.
That's
very smart business.
Can't take nothing away from him.
He's the best. Yes, so Julian and Ana Banda, thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, the Strike a Pose Photography with Myra Rosales. She's a digital photo booth business, perfect for parties, private events, corporate events, and so much more. It's fun, it's convenient, and it's super easy. Don't let your party go to waste by not making memories with Strike a Pose Photo Booth. Call the number on the screen to book and follow on Facebook at Strike a Pose Photo Booth. To Myra Rosales, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. And of course, to Soko Soccer Academy with Dominic Gutierrez and Ariana Gutierrez, located at 3304 Franklin Avenue. They offer team, small group, and individual skills training. Also, elite skills training to make your kids superb star athletes with one-on-one training sessions with professionals like George De Leon. The Public Affair is also a very proud sponsor of the Soko soccer teams, coached by my very good friend, my bro, Coach Mauro Maldonado. Continue to do great things, brother. I'm always rooting for you. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to support your teams. To Soko Soccer Academy, thank you guys so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. All right, guys, we're going to get right back into it. My very, very special guest, Octaviano Estrada Jr., a.k.a. Baby. Shit. Sorry,
right.
it was that water I had before.
You got something in your throat?
Yeah, shut up. It's because I took a bathroom break.
I don't know what you did during those 5 minutes.
Shut up. Okay. I said I wasn't going to be gay on the show. Anyway. No, you know what? So before the break, we had just let the listeners know that you are currently living with cancer.
Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of cancer do you have at the moment?
So right now, a few Fridays ago, I was just diagnosed with kidney cancer. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's fine. It's not your fault.
No, I mean, is that what you say to people?
I don't know. What can I say? What can they say too?
For sure.
Kidney cancers. Yeah. So I have cancer in both of my kidneys right now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And I also there's more. I'm also having issues with my liver as well, where it's not functioning to its max potential.
Okay.
And on top of that, there's also issue with my bone marrow not producing enough platelets. So if you know anything about bone marrows or platelet counts, then it's sort of like an early sign of a possible leukemia diagnosis, maybe in the near future. Yeah, because there's no like what's my body fighting, right? Platelet
Sure.
counts, defenses, white blood cell counts, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like what's my body fighting? They don't know at the moment. So it's
Right.
so right now the priority is the cancer in the kidneys.
Yeah. Okay, so but beforehand, did you have cancer prior to that, or this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had. So when I was 15, I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh wow.
So I was stage 4. So if you don't know what stage 4 is,
Mhm.
that's when they put you in a hospice and they pretty much say, man, let's just wait.
Oh wow.
That's
Okay.
what stage 4 is. And I had a tumor attached to my heart.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
when I was 15.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then that goes away.
So I was in treatment for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Went to Houston. I moved to Houston. So like even though I graduated from university, I was
Sure.
still out for about 2 years. So
Yeah,
I was sent to like a private school in Houston for a little bit. Then I was homeschooled. And then I was there for 2 years under treatment. I came back, and even though it gave me 20 plus years of my life,
Yeah.
they don't know what to attribute this diagnosis with. So in
Right.
April of 2023, this year, I was having just a pain in my stomach. I thought it was from drinking soda. I thought I had gotten bloated from drinking a soda, and that's what I
Sure.
attributed it to. But so that was on a Wednesday,
Yeah.
a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then that Sunday, going into Monday night, like I just couldn't take it anymore. And I have a high pain tolerance, so
Yeah.
I can take it. I can walk it off for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then at that point, I just couldn't. So
You couldn't, okay.
I drove myself to the hospital
Oh wow.
and called my dad. He called my family.
Yeah.
And at first, what they thought was just a ruptured appendix.
Okay.
Took an X-ray. They're like, no, it's not a ruptured appendix. It's a sac full of fluid from the ruptured appendix.
Sure.
So they were just gonna drain it. Like, we'll drain it.
Yeah.
You'll be out for a few days, and then we'll have you come back and then we'll check it.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, so when they went in to drain it, they sedated me. They went in to drain it, and for some reason I woke up and I just heard them say, "Hey, it's not draining. It's not draining. It's not a sac of fluid. Yeah, it's a mass."
Goodness.
Yeah. As soon as they said mass, I knew in my head, I was like, oh, okay, it's a tumor.
Yeah.
So I woke up. I was like, well, hey, because they were gonna just rush me to the emergency table. I said, well, let me talk to my family real quick.
Yeah.
So they were okay. They let me sort of recover a bit. I spoke to my family. Then I went in, and so what was done was 3 surgeries. So one, so it was a huge tumor. It's like a cantaloupe sized tumor.
Wow. Okay.
And the tumor was attached to my bladder, my colon, and my appendix. So they took out from the appendix, stopped, waited a little bit, and they went in, took out from the colon.
Yeah.
Waited a little bit, they went in, took out whatever was in the bladder, and they put a stent in my urethra. So essentially what I had was 3 surgeries in one.
Wow.
At the same time.
Yeah. Okay. So so you were first diagnosed with the lymphoma when you were 15. Okay, so then a couple years passed, and now you're kind of like in the clear. Yeah. Correct? Okay. So now it's resurfaced, not the lymphoma, but a different cancer.
Because everything was done on an emergency basis.
Yeah.
They don't know what to attribute it to. They don't know what was the cause of it.
I got you.
They don't know if it was something that was just underlined there and just hidden, suppressed somewhere. They don't know, because again, everything was just done on an emergency basis. Yeah. They don't know the tumor growth rate. They don't know the age of the tumor. They don't know things like that, again, because everything was done on an emergency basis.
Right.
And life happens, right? That's just something that happens, and you just have to learn to deal with it and adapt to it.
How old are you right now?
I'm 39. I turned 39 in October.
So I mean, you're close. I'm 32. And so then just a few Fridays ago, I mean, what goes in your mind? What goes on in your mind once they tell you this? I mean, how do you react to something like that?
I take it very well. I think just having dealt with death at such an early age, or either just a death scare, you sort of you don't have this immunity to it, but it's like, oh, it's nothing new. Oh, here we go again.
Oh, wow.
So that's how you sort of go about it. And like, I was just talking to my cousin Jorge the other day, and I was just explaining to him everything, and I said, you know what though, man? I said, so this goes along with your question, right? Sure. So I said, you know what though? Like, I'm gonna remain positive and I'm gonna remain happy. One thing that no one or nothing is gonna take away is going to be my joy. Like, God forbid something happens to me in the near future, but the inevitable is the inevitable. Like, we all come and we all go. but at least people are gonna remember, hey, he was always smiling, he was always joyful, he was
Okay.
always happy.
Sure.
Like that's one thing that no one or nothing is gonna take away is my joy.
Yeah.
Like I know where I'm at, I know the consequences, I know the repercussions, and I know the inevitable is gonna come one day. But at least my joy will remain, not just within me, but in others.
Are some days harder than others to tell yourself
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because people don't see, right? Perception is very deceiving. Like
Yeah, for sure.
I look okay. I
Right.
look okay. I look fine. I look healthy. Okay, that's one part of it. That's fine. But internally, there's things that are out of my control that I don't have a say in.
Okay.
Like it's not that I can't take a medicine. I can't take a pill
Right.
to make me feel better. I can't take I don't have a prescription to make me have more energy.
Sure.
Like that's just something that it's either going to come over time, or I'm never going to get back, or I just have to work at. And I do, and I try, but like my body isn't the same. My body doesn't work the same. I wake up and it's very, very hard certain days.
Yeah.
Like my body is, without doing anything, I wake up and my body's pretty sore. It's really hard. When it's cold outside and the wind hits my chest, like I have to go inside real quickly. And I have to watch when I go out in crowds. So on top of the cancer, they also diagnosed me with depression and anxiety. So I have what they call heart palpitations.
Yes.
So when I have those, it's just my heart racing, right? Boom, 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 boom. And I have to sit down, have to calm down. And once that's over with, like I'm out. Like I'm drained, I'm sleepy. And like my kids, my students, they don't see that. They just see, oh, Mr. Estrada is he's normal. But when I get home, then that's the reality. That's when reality hits.
Yeah.
That's when I have to gather myself and recover and just sort of figure things out. And because it's really hard right now that I'm off for the Christmas break. I'm taking 2-3 naps out of the day.
Wow, really?
Doing nothing. Like I don't have trouble sleeping at night.
Yeah.
Again, that's the things that people don't see.
Right.
And even though like my cousin's birthday just passed, and I'm with my cousins and we're doing stuff, it's very, very difficult. But I'm doing it because I know that there's gonna come a point in time where I'm not going to be able to do those things.
Right.
Like I'm gonna have to sort of not isolate myself, but quarantine myself.
Okay.
And I just have to be very, very careful once that point in time comes, because I am gonna have surgery on my kidneys.
Okay.
I'm gonna have surgery on one of my kidneys to remove whatever cancer they can, and then they're also gonna extract, remove part of my kidney.
Right.
So that's a very big deal because that's a vital organ.
Sure. Yes.
And again, people won't see that because they're not going to be with me every day. Like I don't know how my body's going to react. I don't know how the recovery process is going to be.
Right.
Like we don't know that until it actually happens.
And you're living by yourself right now too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. My family comes and goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Like they're very supportive. My friends, even my students, like their families, they've been wonderful. The teachers, everyone, like the Darlings, the Fusiliers, the Moraleses at school, the Texeras, like those families have been like very, very wonderful to me.
Sure.
And
baby, while you take this approach, which I think is very commendable, because I don't know that you take this positive approach in life every day when you wake up, right? And you just kind of, living with this what is now normalcy to you.
Yeah.
What about the people around you and how it affects them? Does that kind of detriment what you're trying to do sometimes?
It does, because sometimes they take it harder than I take it.
Right.
And I have to remind them, y'all can't take it worse than I take it. Like y'all, I will be strong for them, but it's hard to be strong for them when like I need them to be strong for me.
Sure.
Right. It's like a domino effect. You're strong for me, I'll be strong for myself.
Right.
So it does affect them because. And I remember one of my students, her name is Brinley. She came to visit me in the hospital. When she came in, and she came in with some other friends. Yeah. She looked at me. I said, "Mija, why are you crying?" She said, "Because we're so used to you being there for us, and now we have to be there for you." So now it's the reverse, right? Now it's the people are having to ask me like, "Hey, what do you need? Like, how are you feeling?" And it's a little different, but I mean that's what happens. That's what. And unfortunately for us in life, that's what happens, right? We come and we go, and sometimes we're not at our best, and we just need people there to help us. And but you just have to be strong. Yeah,
you make it sound easier said than done. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, like, so with the unknown around you, though, you know what I mean? Because like, anything can happen between now and the surgery, right?
Yeah.
And so again, it bears the question, like I asked earlier. I mean, to anybody that's going through it now, you know what I mean, that might be watching this program, how do you encourage them to just remain positive through all of it?
You lead with faith.
Okay.
You lead with faith. You lead with faith. You start with faith, and the rest will follow.
Sure.
Like you will be strong. You will be hopeful. You will be positive, and those around you will too. You lead with faith. You must lead with faith. That's what I tell people. But me going through it at such a young age, my mother passing away from cancer,
right,
as well, having it twice also in such a short period of time, your perception of death changes, right? Your approach to death changes. It doesn't become something that you're scared of. It's something that you prepare yourself for, because that's the inevitable. That's that's what we're here for. And as long as you have faith, like you're gonna be okay. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to tell people like it's gonna be okay, because that's what you hear all the time, right? Hey, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get tired of hearing it.
Sure.
But I can't tell people how to approach life or how to live life. Like, you have to figure that out on your own.
Right.
I just so happen to have gone through these experiences at such a young age where my perception of things change and my approach to things change. This gave me 20 plus years of my life, and now maybe I'm experiencing the side effects from all the medication. I don't know.
Right.
But in the end, again, no one's going to take my joy. Like, I'm going to be with my cousins. I'm going to be with my students. I'm going to be with my family. And I'm going to do what I want in a safe manner.
Absolutely.
And, like, you know, I got friends that really are very supportive. Like, they'll text me, hey, how you feeling? Hey, let me get you out of the house.
Yeah.
Because they know I go home and I go from work to the house.
Yes.
Like, they know that. And sometimes they just want to get me out of the house.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I don't have the energy.
Yeah, for sure.
Some days are harder than others. But I'm very, very grateful that I've had those friends that are very, very attentive to me.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. It makes you realize who's there for you when the times are tough.
For sure. Even a small thing, like just a text, even if it takes me a day to respond, to reply, they're still there. I know they're there.
Do you ever, like, you know, because you don't strike me as the type of person, and a lot of people, there's a like a nuance, like, they think that you only get cancer when you make poor decisions in life, or, you know, it's attributed to smoking a lot or drinking heavily. And you didn't strike me as that type of person. Do you ever question why this happened to you?
No, I like, one day someone asked me, and this goes to answer your question.
Yeah, sure.
Like, what do you pray for? Like, you pray for a miracle? I'm like, yeah, I pray for a miracle. They're like, well, what kind of miracle? I'm like, it's not the miracle y'all think. Like, I'm not asking for God to come down and say, boom, you're cured. Okay. My miracle will be, let this impact others in a positive way. Sure. Let this bring hope to others. Like, I don't want to be selfish. Like, if my time has come, then so be it. Like, I've made my peace. I'm fine with that. And that's what I tell my family too. But I pray for a miracle that's going to be impactful to others, and for others to have knowledge, and for others to have the wisdom and the strength to deal with things like this. And if I'm that person, then use me. Yeah. And I'm okay with that.
You really like set the tone for just like how much we maybe don't appreciate life for now. I mean, we all go through these things, and we think that, oh, this is so shitty, and we really don't realize how short life is.
It is. It is.
And you know what you're going through, bro. It's got to be. I don't know how I would be able to wake up every day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be like you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, just hats off to you. Like, so going forward, I mean, we do have scheduled surgeries. Yeah. Okay. And so, do you think that this will be, this will kind of lead more in a positive direction in terms of, like, not a cure, but maybe getting better, or is it just kind of up in the air at the moment?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer. Is it going to be positive? Because I think positivity can be taken in different ways. Like, maybe it'll be positive for someone else and not me, right? Okay. Maybe it'll affect me in a worse way than it will someone else seeing and saying, "Oh, well, let me take better care of myself. Sure. Let me stop doing this."
Yeah. Do you still plan for the future? Like, do you want a family and kids and stuff? Or?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do. I don't. That doesn't stop my thinking process and stuff like that. But I do have to I do have to focus on the now,
The now.
in order to have to have that future.
Sure, sure.
Right? Like now I'm here. Well, if I want to be there, then how do I take those steps? How do I get there?
Sure. So it's not necessarily that you're living life every day like it's your last.
Mm-hmm.
You're still
in a way I am, but in a way I'm not. Like
Sure.
it's not gonna hinder me living every day. It's not gonna hinder my process. It's not gonna hinder me moving forward. It's not it's not going to slow me down. Maybe it will physically at one point, but right now I'm not. Again, I just want to be happy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. I just want to be happy, and
it goes to show that you control your happiness.
For sure.
And this goes for everybody. You know what I mean? Like this disease didn't break you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And it didn't, and it's not. Like it's not. This is a part of my life now. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna die from this. I'm gonna live with it.
Okay.
And that's the biggest thing. I am gonna live with this, and I'm gonna live every day as if it doesn't affect me. Because like I appreciate my life. I try to wake up every day with a smile on my face. Yeah. And I know I like nice things, nice shoes, nice clothes and stuff like that. That doesn't mean I don't appreciate my life. Mm-hmm. But it means that I do appreciate my life, because while I'm here, like I can't take none of this with me.
Gotcha.
And if anybody tells me different, well, look, I'm there. I'm almost there. Yeah. Like I'm closer to the inevitable than you are.
Right.
So my perception has changed. My approach to things have changed, and the way I think about it has changed. And I mean, it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but it's not impossible.
Gotcha.
It's not impossible. Everything has a solution.
Yeah, definitely. Well, sheesh, man. I mean, listen, all I can do now is I pray for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it's so commendable that you came on the show to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I'm praying that everything goes good for you. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you.
You know what I really like too? And I hope that when we watch this episode back, and, you know, it'll live forever. Right. And so
for sure.
And we just like really watch you stay so positive through this really tough time in your life, and other people will be inspired to do so as well, no matter what they're going through, whether they have cancer, whether it's a financial issue, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. So I think that man, you know, we talked earlier about how you wanted to see change in your community and represent something positive. I think that you do that now.
I hope so. I hope so. I'd rather let others judge me or make that call. I don't want to say it myself. I think that's very selfish, but I think if others can say it, then I think the facts lie. And I just want to make an impact on my community. I don't want to be in the spotlight. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be a cajillionaire. I want to just make that impact and sit back and work behind the scenes and make stuff happen. That's what I want. I don't care for people to know who I am, my name. I don't care for that. I just want to see the changes. I want to see the positive changes. And
yeah, man.
You know, when it comes to the whole cancer thing, like, man, people just take care of yourself. Get genetic testing. Genetic testing is the one thing I would promote. Genetic testing.
Okay.
Like that would be the one thing to go and get tested for, because that will tell you a lot. It will tell you what you're prone to, what the possibilities.
Yeah.
And that is a test that, man, that works wonders. And I really do encourage people to do that.
Got you. And you know, a lot of us don't go get checked out either.
No, people are scared.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm one of those people. I do not go get checked, and maybe I should. And
people are scared. A blood test will cost you like $100.
Right.
But it's
and
everyone has cancer cells.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone has cancer cells, but once that abnormality begins to happen, you won't know unless you go get your blood checked.
Right.
And there's a lot of things you can do. I don't think people need to be scared. Just be better prepared, and especially in this day and age where insurance is so high. Like, man, like just go get checked. And
for sure.
Just take care of yourself. Eat better. Eat better. I'm grateful that my mom ate really healthy. She was diabetic her whole life.
Yeah.
And she just instilled that in me. Like, I eat a lot of vegetables.
Yeah.
I know how to cook the food she cooks with little to no grease, and it's very tasteful, very flavorful.
Yeah.
So I was very grateful that she instilled all that in me. That's good. That's sort of just how the approach, because she could do it. Man, like, and my mom was a tough woman.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's a beautiful thing when you witness strength like that for so many years, and then you realize, like, wow, she instilled this in me.
Yeah.
Without saying, here you go, here's your strength. She did it.
It just kind of adapted to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sheesh, man. Well, look, bro, unfortunately, we are running out of time. Is there anything that you can leave us with what you're going through, or what's to happen in the future with you, and you know, any messages or that you want to give to anybody or anything like that? Any shout outs?
Y'all got any soccer teams that need sponsorship? Just holler at Andrew. He's got a lot of money. Softball, basketball.
How you gonna do that?
Softball, basketball. Y'all holler at Andrew.
I have enough money to sponsor one team right now. I told you, so go soccer team. Shout out to them.
No, man.
I'm just, bro. you fucked up for that one.
Y'all give him a call. Like,
okay, anyway,
I saw that black card somewhere.
What black card? You better shut up.
No, man. To shout out just my Sanchez family, Jorge Sanchez. He owns Brazos Air Conditioning. Man, they've been Israel Sanchez. You had him on here.
Oh yes, absolutely.
My cousin Jose Luis Sanchez, Ricky Sanchez, David Sanchez. Man, just the whole Sanchez Cordero family. My Ibanez family. You know, my dad, my sister, my brother.
Yeah.
Just everybody that's been there for me. Everyone at Bishop Louis Riker, the whole community. Orlando Locke at Off the Top, man.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ordonis, you've had him on
Love
here.
Matt.
Twin, everyone that look at me now, just everyone that's been there for me, all the families at Riker, and just if there's one thing to leave people with, is that you define your happiness, you define your success, and no one will take away that. You no one will take away your joy.
Right.
And life is very, very short. When you look back at your 10-year reunions, your 20-year reunions, those things fly by. When you look at your kids and they've grown so quickly,
right?
Like time flies by. And
sure, man.
Just take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
I don't really have any wise words or words of wisdom other than just lead with faith and everything else will follow.
Well, I love it. Well, thank you again so much.
No, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
It's such an honor that you came on, and especially to talk about something so sensitive.
Yeah.
So I really do appreciate and commend your bravery in doing so. And thank you for doing so on this platform as well.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, of course. Well, you guys, that's all we have time for this episode. Thank you again so much for tuning in to Baby. Thank you again. You know, he's the one that you can hit up for the sponsors.
Not at all. I'm on a teacher salary.
Okay. You guys, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Rogue Media Network. Thank you guys again so much. Before we go, I definitely want to use this opportunity to give a shout out to just a few more of our sponsors of this episode of The Public Affair. This episode is brought to us by Brothers Roofing and Remodeling with Jesus Sanchez, all the way from Mart, Texas, a small construction business specializing in general roofing needs, so much more, including renovations as well. Protect your home from the crazy elements of the Texas weather with his high quality and affordable work, and follow on Facebook and call the number on the screen to book right now. And he has amazing finance options because sometimes those jobs get a little bit expensive. And if you just hit him up with the financing options, he's got you, right? To Brothers Roofing and Remodeling, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, the J Pedal and Poke with Junior Fuentes, Thomas Roberts, and their entire family, providing delicious, savory Japanese crepes and poke bowls. And they also have handcrafted Thai-rolled ice cream for dessert. You can choose from a menu item or just be like me, because I like to just create my own bowl because I like to be in control of a lot.
Oh, J Pedal?
I love J Pedal.
Man,
isn't J Pedal great?
Man, that's awesome.
It's giving lunch right now.
Awesome.
It is, yes. Awesome. Locations on University Park Drive and Hewitt Drive, and you can order on their app as well. They have an app now.
Yeah, they do have an app. Yeah. I do it all the time.
I do too. It's like shopping on Amazon. I love it so much. J Pedal and Poke, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. Of course, to Elite Barbershop with my boy Sid Rodriguez, located on Hewitt Drive. You can call the number on the screen to book or download the Squire app. Walk-ins are welcome as well. He has Marcus Guerrero, Chris Reyes, Santos Cordova, David Rodriguez, Isaac Chavez, Clint Fletcher, Isai Reyes, and Sam Ceballos over there making you look as snatched as I have for more than 181 or 2 episodes of The Public Affair. To Elite Barbershop, thank you so much for sponsoring your long-term support, bro. I truly appreciate you. And of course, to Jeffrey Monreal with Boyo Box and Audio, home for all your LED needs and audio accessories, installation of stereos, door speakers, and audio systems. He also specializes in building custom subwoofer enclosures and pretty much everything. All right, he put the starlights in my car. The tint job looks amazing. He's your one-stop shop to get everything done in one roof. To Jeffrey Monreal, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode of The Public Affair. To all of you guys, thank you again. I truly, truly appreciate it. We're getting ready to record another episode. I've got my next guest waiting outside. To Baby, thank you again.
No, thank you, man.
Thank you so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. And anything you need, you hit me up too. Okay?
Yeah.
Hit me up. I got you.
Appreciate it. Sponsorship. Y'all heard him.
Okay, so anyway.
You got all that money. Tinting his windows all dark and stuff. Why you do that for?
Don't worry about him, because I be in South Waco a lot. And don't forget, Baby, on that note, to always keep it between us.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.